Hiya lovelies, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Linz. So we're back for cooking videos. We might have already been back because I'm not sure when I'm posting what. But this is a very much awaited chicken stock or chicken broth, bone broth. I don't know, this is just a really simple version of something I do, and it's great for using up your scraps, I'm going to say. So basically, in this bag here, I had what was the picked off bones of a small chicken, and then I had 6 thighs. So when we were finished with them, I just took the bones out and put them into this as well. Great way of doing this is these are pre-cooked, so you know they already do have some nutrients, I suppose, taken out of them, and that is why I prefer to do this in a pressure cooker, because it's going to keep as much nutrients as left in there as possible. Then I also have, I don't have much today, unfortunately. I just have a wee bag that's been in the fridge. Make sure you wash your veg and things like that before you peel it. But I have a couple of carrot peelings in here, a couple of parsnip peelings, and some bits of onion. Normally I would use the skin of the onion as well, but anybody that's buying onions at the minute, for some reason they always seem to just be a bit mouldy, and I'm not going to be putting that into any stock. As I said, this is really simple, and I suppose depending on where you are in the world or anything like that, we all normally have a recipe maybe that's been handed down to us. This is just my recipe. Basically my granny used to use on the hob pressure cooker for absolutely everything, so I don't really know about recipes from her. I do have a little book from my great granny, which has got a few little bits and pieces in it, which are nice to do sometimes. Anyway, I have some celery. Again, this has been in the freezer. What I normally do is, if I see it cheap, I will buy it, chop it up, just throw it into the freezer ready for use. I'm going to be using some black pepper, just white ground pepper, and personal preference for me is sage. I don't add any extra salt when I'm making broths and things like that, because I think depending on what you're going to be using it for afterwards. So again, completely lost train of thought there. Again, depending on what you want to use your stock for afterwards, and there are so many things you can use it for, will depend maybe on what sort of seasonings and stuff you'd like to put in there. So my suggestion is just stick with the basics. Your veg, your bones, your maybe bit of celery, and your water, obviously, put it in, and then you can add your seasonings to it when you're using it afterwards. For me, I am going to be turning, depending on how much we get, I am going to be turning some of this into a chicken noodle soup, which I'm also going to be doing a video on, hopefully, just as fingers crossed. So we're going to be using the Ninja today, and I'll have to do another video at some stage about, I have the bigger Instant Pot, and if you've been here a while, you would have heard me talking about it. I will show it to you, but I think I'm just going to have to stick with one, because one of them has to go, unfortunately. Just life. So in here, first off, I am putting my bones. Ideally, you would have uncooked bones to do this. I'm sure there's going to be comments saying that. But this way, I haven't portioned up my own chicken in such a long time. I used to, because it was cheaper to get your whole chicken, portion it up so you'd have like 2 bits of breast, 2 leg joints, and 2, other bits and pieces. I haven't done it in such a long time. We're going in then with our veggie scraps. If you have a slow cooker as well, you can do this, and somebody's going to know who I'm talking to here. Slow cooker, again, you will just follow all these steps through, and you would leave it on for about 12 hours. That's my personal thing. Anyway, I have here 1 litre of water for this amount of bone I'm using. 1 litre is approximately 4 cups or 1 quart, 32 ounces. Hope you all got that. That's just going to go in there. If you want as well, if you want a bit more flavour, you could add a stock cube, I suppose. Then just in with our celery. Not much. Say like a handful, if that makes any sense, in there. It just gives it, I don't know, I just like the flavour celery gives stocks. So that's like that. Let's see if I can get a spoon. So now, again, things like your seasonings and stuff like that, it is going to depend on preference. I don't have any exact quantities for this. I just kind of sprinkle it in. I'm going to say about half a tablespoon-ish for this quantity. Again, with black pepper, half a teaspoon maybe. Throw it in and see what happens. So that's that, and that's all in there. Make sure your sealing valve, there we go, is over to sealing. Obviously want to turn it on. Now flip this over, and this is your pressure cooker setting here. So then we're going to go down. Now maybe I do this for too long, I don't know, but this is going on for an hour. And press start, because that's one thing with this machine here. I keep setting it and forgetting to press the start button. And then I come back and just, why is it not working? But, you know, we all have our things to think, don't we, with our appliances in the kitchen. And basically that's just going to do its thing. Now, I'm going to go off. You can see out the window. We actually have what's called an Indian summer here in Ireland at the moment. So I'm going to enjoy some of that. It's not going to matter too much if it goes over its time or anything like that. Just leave it to do its thing. I'm going to come back when I open it up, and I'll show you how then I prepare it for either the freezer or for whatever dish I'm going to be putting it into next. So I'll be back. It'll be a split second for you. Now, I know it's literally just been a millisecond for you, but just wanted to prove the point here, I suppose, that it doesn't kind of matter. Like, this is nearly 2 hours over its cooking time at this stage, but we'll not worry about it. Basically, there shouldn't be no pressure in it, because it's telling me to open it, so there's going to be nothing coming out. It's depressurized itself at this stage. Now, because of the way I have the camera set now, I can't bring you in for a look. Let me see, what am I going to do? We'll move some of this. We're learning with this new setup, so just bear with there. What have we got? I'm going to take my, just going to move this round a bit. It's all fun and games here in the kitchen, Woodlands. I'm going to take these wee silicone mitts. They're very good. And I am going to turn that machine off now. Press the right button. There we go. Bye-bye. So, in this pot, you can see now it's turned a lovely colour that you would expect broth to be. Excuse me, Bubba, we're filming. Sorry about that, lovelies. It's just the way things go sometimes. I'm just going to leave it in because, yeah, it's just life. So as you can see, that has turned a fabulous shade. So what I normally do is yeah, we're going to have to get used to this setup a wee bit. I'm going to bring over I have a sieve here with a jug underneath, and just a wee tip there. If you have a jug like this, it tends to sit sort of in the sort of wee bit you would pour out, and then, yeah, self-explanatory, I think. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take out this. Now, I suppose if you do this on sort of like an everyday sort of, not on every day, but on a regular thing, you're going to have bigger sieves, bigger bowls, all that kind of thing. But I just want to make sure I'm not losing too much of that goodness that comes out of this, out of the bones and things like that. And I don't know why, but every time I'm on camera, I always make things look an awful lot more difficult than they actually are. Get yourself a slotted spoon. I think it's the end of the day and I'm tired now at this stage. So I did remember to bring a bowl over to get rid of all this. Now, I don't know whether the camera can pick that up, and it is hot, but You see that? Them bones just literally now disintegrate. You can do that. As I said, I don't want to waste any of that broth. But it just means that all your scraps then as well, kind of a lot less, you know, than it would be if you'd have put them into your bin full, I suppose. If you really want to, there's some tiny little bits of chicken and stuff like that left on some of them. You could go through that. I'm not going to. And if you just wanted to pick the bones out as well, you could blitz up them bits of vegetables and stuff left, but you're talking, that's an awful lot of extra work you'd be giving yourselves. It's like there's some bits from what would have been sort of the backbone as a chicken, and there is a little bit of chicken left on them. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all that. You just get the point, I think, now at this stage. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm not making too much of a mess so far. This is amazing. Okay. You can always give them a good press back through as well if you want to. Now, is that? Yeah, asbestos fingers going on here today. We are going to pour all that through the sieve. Will it all fit in the jog? Yeah, of course it will. We'll make it fit. Make sure you're pressing everything through. Leave it like that just for now. And this is what I like to call at this stage liquid gold, because the amount of nutrients and things like that just in that alone is, I know, you know, there would be a lot more if they had have been fresh bones, not fresh bones, but, you know, not pre-cooked. But there is still, fortunately, I don't have a meter or anything like that. But, and we've got literally just under the litre that we started with the water. As a, you know, I find with this one here, it does seem to let out. I'm sure I could probably give you a demonstration. Yeah. Your wee cup on the side, if we can see that, there's a little bit of liquid in there. It does let out an awful lot more condensation than the likes of the Instant Pot does. I very seldom have to look at the little condensation type collector thing on the side. Anyway, we're getting back to this. There's a nice layer of sort of like the oil over the top of that. Now, when this cools down, it is going to go into like a jelly form. The more jelly form it is, apparently the better it is. I don't know if that's true, but it melts down again once you heat it up. But I wish you could smell it because of that sage and stuff like that. It kind of smells like roast chicken gravy to me. I don't know, a real gravy. You know, not the type, you know. How many times have I said that already? But just going to let you know what I do with it now. So these wee containers here, they hold, I think I've kept the label. How good am I? So we've got 450 mils apparently. And they're they come in an 8-pack, and I got these from Deals. If you're in the UK, it's going to be called Poundland. But any of these wee containers here that are suitable for your freezer, and you can put them in the microwave and things like that as well, are absolutely perfect. So basically, I'll hold it up when I'm done. Just like that there. Wait for it to cool down, put the lid on it, into the fridge or into the freezer. Mine lasts a good few months in the freezer, depending on whether you're using your chest freezer or you're standing, what type of freezer you've got, I suppose. But anyway, I'm babbling. I'm babbling because it's later on in the evening. Just make sure the lid's on. You can put a little bit of cling film if you want over that, just to stop it getting a touch of freezer burn if your freezer does that. But then this can be taken out. You can drink it just as it is. Really good for trying to get over the colds and the flus and things like that. Or you can add it to things like your stews, your chicken casseroles. As I said, I am going to be making chicken noodle and sweet corn soup with this, and it's absolutely delicious. You can use, if you've got leftover chicken and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about this in the next video because this isn't for this one. Lovelies, I hope if you've any questions or anything like that, put them down. Put them down in the comments and I will try and answer them the best I can. I'm hoping that a few of you might leave your suggestions or recipes and things like that down there too, because getting some new ideas is always really good and it helps everybody out that reads through the comments too. So I am off for this one, and I just want to say it's been a bit of a longer video. We've had a bit of a rude interruption from Mr. Man down there, but we got through it. And I didn't cough too much. So, spoke too soon, get ready for it. No, I'm gone. Right, lovelies, thank you for spending time with me in the kitchen. I just appreciate you all more than you'll ever know. Take care. Hopefully speak to you down in the comments or over in another video, and bye for now.